Oh, my friends, Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, Georgia. In front of us, guys, we have our Season 6 giveaway bike, our 2018 Yamaha R6. Of course, this is our M model. Today, we are doing its first ride. Now, if you guys haven't seen the video where we did a first ride of how this bike started, I'm going to leave a link for it in the description. Now we're doing a first ride of after everything's been done. It has been a very long year to get this thing built. We are still giving it away. You have until the end of December to win it. Go over to wbrgarage.com if you want to win this thing. We're going to be giving it away. And there's nothing to it but to do it. I'm ready to get this thing out on the streets and get the revs up as much as I can. All right, guys, it's the first ride. Let's see what it looks like and let's see what it sounds like. There you go, guys. I am so happy to be here. Let me get the phone on the quad lock. As I said, this video is not sponsored, but it's supported by WBR Garage. We build bikes, we give them away. You guys know the deal. If you guys want to win it, you know how to do it. Let's get on this thing and let's check it out on the streets. Not where it's made to be. It's made to be on the track, but we're here. Also, you guys will notice we're in street mode. We've got the mirrors turned down. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys, I'm 5'10". I got a 32-inch inseam. I do have my Alpinestars suit and boots on, and with those, I can flat foot. So, pretty solid, even though those boots are pretty thick, so keep that in mind. We do have modes on this motorcycle. If we click the mode button, we have standard, A, and B. We're going to start at B, which is the lowest power mode, and we'll work our way up to A. We are definitely going to be in A when we get on the road or on the highway. We also have traction control. I've currently got traction control in 3. Not really going to change that. And we're going to get this thing going. I think you guys subscribe to the channel to see me ride things, not just sit on them and talk. Also, guys, we have an awesome Discord community. It's totally free if you guys want to join it. It's just full of motorcycle dudes just like me and you. If you guys want some dudes to hang out with on Discord that like motorcycles, that is the place to go. Go check it out. Hey, no cars. We'll go. That's a red light, but I'm going to get to 10 grand. God, intoxicating. My back doesn't miss super sports, specifically R6s, but my ears do. My goodness, the sound of an inline 4 revving into double-digit thousands is a special kind of feeling. So guys, it goes without saying, this video is going to be a little bit different of a first ride. I'm going to be talking through how I feel the bike handles on the road, but we're not going to be like digging into the specific stats of the bike. We're going to go over all the things that I did to this bike throughout the year, building it, and all the normal first ride stuff, but this is not a brand new model that you can go out and buy. It's like a specialty bike. So this first ride's going to be a little weird. Also, we do still have the engine code, and from what I have been told in the research I have done, is our auto tuner is currently running the bike rich. That typically happens sometimes. And from the forums I have read, it takes a few rides for the auto tuner to get the bike settled into a tune. and supposedly the engine code goes away. So yeah, that's currently what's up with the engine code. We do have the servo buddy in here, and but you know, forum posts have told us that, and we will assume that's correct. Alrighty guys, it's the first ride. Let's talk about body position on the R6. Oh, the body position. The main thing about this motorcycle that makes it to where I couldn't ride it on the daily. It couldn't be my daily bike because of the body position. So with an R6, guys, you are in super sport body position. Your top half is leaned all the way over. Your arms are draped down. You're on the clip-ons. Your legs, your lower half is perched up. The seat is really slippery. And the one thing that I think this bike would have to have that we installed, that I definitely recommend if you have an R6, are these tank grips right here. They basically put this little rubber sticky stuff on the side of the tank, and that way you can grip it and you don't go anywhere, and you get a really good grasp on the bike with your legs. Before we installed those, I rode this bike around, and even with the suit on, I was just sliding all over the place. So definitely a modification you should highly look into if you have a super sport that's in a position like this R6. But the position is very uncomfortable for road riding. Your legs are all perched up, so when you come to a stop, you gotta like get them unperched and then get to the ground, and then everybody starts going, so you gotta get them perched back up again. It's not the best, but when you are on a track or technical riding, it is a glorious body position to be in. You're able to get side to side on the bike and get your weight off the bike. It just makes that whole thing very simple. And as you guys might have noticed, we do have a quick shifter installed on this bike, and it works fantastic. We'll talk about that more later down the road. Back at that red light, we typically change mode, so I will do that now. We are off throttle. We are now in standard mode. A little bit more punch right up from the get-go. And now we will start talking about city performance. So when it comes to city performance, I already talked about how the body position is, let's just call it not advantageous for city riding. One of the things that I do feel is interesting with our R6 is the power delivery, even at lower RPMs. You guys that are not familiar with this platform, typically an R6 holds all of its power way high in the revs. You're talking like 7,500 to 8,000 RPMs is when the bike really starts putting power down. But one of the modifications we did on top of the auto tuner, obviously, was to install acro headers and a SC Project exhaust, which is what makes the bike sound like it does. It's got that good sound. But one of the things that I think that did the most, obviously a bike sounding better, cool, we love that. But those headers and that exhaust mixed with the tune have actually given this R6 a lot more mid-range power, to the point that I was surprised it was there. This could be caused from me spending so much time on an R6 just stock, so I'm used to just kind of nothing, everything. So that transition of like, oh, I now have power, it makes it easier to ride in the city. And by easier to ride, I mean when you have more mid-range power, you often get into situations in the city where you're not at peak revs for power, because I mean peak revs would be 10,000 RPMs, right? So having that more middle range power allows me to have the power to get around traffic if something were to happen, or if I need to get out of a situation that pops up. I really like that a lot. Highly recommend that if you have a 2018 and up R6. It is a very welcomed bump in the power band that it's super interesting. I did not expect to get that. You know, just full transparency, the headers that were on this bike look like crap, and obviously I wanted to get a new exhaust on it, so that was a given. I actually did not get that stuff to get a power gain. I got that stuff for the looks, and the power gain was just kind of like secondary. But now that I'm experiencing that, I can highly recommend the acro headers. Now, I do want to be clear about the headers and the exhaust. While I'm super happy that I went with that modification, I do gotta say it can get a little pricey depending on what your budget's looking like. The headers alone were like 900 something, almost 1,000, and then the exhaust was like another 700. So you know, if you're used to buying accessories for like a Ducati, then, you know, an exhaust will run you $3,000. It's no big deal. But if you're a regular ass dude and you don't got a ton of cash, it is a little expensive. But that power is so fun to have on this R6 platform. Oh, thank you, Civic. I appreciate that. Revs are fun, aren't they? Revs are so fun. I am in standard mode. Please be careful, Chase. God. Let's get her leaned over, because that's what she wants to do. Oh my God, I live there. I live in that spot right there. Jesus! This bike. It's also the new tires. We've got the Dunlop Q5s on this bike. It's one of our the mods that we got. Shout out to Dunlop. They sent us out an extra pair. So whoever wins this bike's actually going to get a brand new pair of Dunlop Q5s, which is pretty cool. That's one of the things about having a new set of tires on a Super Sport. Now, like, look, I love leaning bikes over. That's where I have the most fun with bikes. I don't get a lot of fun from going in a straight line. But having a brand new set of Dunlop Q5s on a motorcycle that incentivizes you as the rider to get it leaned over, that combination is really intoxicating. Highly recommend. But the problem is, here on the streets, it's just pointless. There is really nowhere that you can get this bike leaned over, which makes you feel like you're just riding this bowl of untapped potential. And it does not taste good, you know what I mean? Another modification that we made that is helpful here on the city streets are the brakes and the brake lever. I don't know if you guys saw the first ride of this thing before we modified it, but the levers were bad. You could not even squeeze them. You got no feeling from them. They literally went that much, and then it was like full pin. We've got the Brembo master cylinder now, along with the Brembo monoblocks up front. Not only does this thing stop on an absolute dime, but you actually have feeling in the brake. You can feel them, and that is partly because of the steel braided lines that we installed. I love the brakes on this bike now. They feel good. I can actually feel them. I get responsiveness from them, and they have this progressive feeling of it's soft up front, so if I just need to like maneuver my speed a little bit, I can. But if I really need to get stopped, it feels so good to get this thing slowed down. It honestly makes me want to do it on my MT10, because my MT10, I'm just not happy with the brakes on that bike. And now that I'm realizing what I could do if I got steel braided lines and Brembo master cylinder and Brembo monoblocks, I'm like, bro, that might be worth it. It's one of the few things about that bike that I'm not super happy with. Hey, we've got the highway coming out. Let's just go ahead and get in A mode, because why not? I should probably note, I have never ridden this bike in A mode. This will be the absolute first time on camera. I don't want to say what could go wrong, but you know, all things are better on camera, I think. All right, guys, we got to find out how fast this bike goes from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. Thanks to our buddies over at Law Tigers. I am terrified to find this out. Wow, coming in hot. I feel like this is a first gear situation. 40 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 2018 Yamaha R6. You guys like the screaming, so this should be good. I'm a little nervous, but okay. On your marks. Get set. Go. Okay. Did I need to shift? No. That was nuts. Oh, we're where the R6 wants to be. It's happy here. This is its safe place. Alright, we're shifting just for the shits and gigs now. Alrighty, guys, we're here on the highway in A mode with a Yamaha R6. Things are great. My visor's not shut. It is now. Guys, this is where this bike is at home. Going high speed. You can get into an amazing tuck position. Did I accidentally buy a Puig a black screen and not a clear one, or a see-through one at all? Yes. Did I mean to? No. But the bike it feels at home going at these speeds. This is just where everything starts to make sense. But if you really want this bike to make sense, take it to a track. You will appreciate everything about it. The stability this bike has at speed, your body position leaning into the wind and being able to tuck in so you can let all the wind just fly over you. Everything feels great. This is not a touring bike. We do not have cruise control. We do have these upgraded grips that I feel like do a fantastic job. Why did that car slam on brakes? Makes me feel like a cop is behind me, but I don't see one. But we do have these fantastic grips, so literally resting my hand on the throttle will keep me going at speed. I don't see anybody buying one of these as a commuter, but the highway, this thing will absolutely freaking slay. Also, if you have a Super Sport, please don't do terrible things on the highway. Much appreciated. It kind of makes us look bad, us at being motorcyclists. All right, guys, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of the highway. I'm going to cut to a montage of this gorgeous freaking motorcycle, thanks to our buddies over at Cardo, because you got to know, if you're riding on the highway with this thing, you got to be listening to some music. Alrighty, guys, that is it for the highway. Cardo, thank you so much for sponsoring the First Ride series. If you guys want to support this show, grab yourself a Cardo with our link in the description. It's a discount, and it gives us a little bit of a kickback, and it super helps the show out. I personally could not ride without my Cardo, and I know you guys would love them, so check them out and enjoy that discount. I'm going to back off a little bit so we can get this bike leaned over in this turn. Oh, these people aren't going. That's sad. We'll lean it over anyway. Guys, my God. You could probably pass every one of these cars. So sad. You guys are ruining this freaking first ride for me. I hope you're happy. Guys, an R6 or any 600cc Super Sport, they feel so good leading them over. They feel at home. You start to understand the raw potential that these things have. I will say, riding this thing on the road, look, I love the Rizoma Stealth mirrors. I think they're so sick. But dude, you have such a sliver of view here. And I'll admit, you can see very well behind you with them, but you cannot see the sides. So I love the way they look. I am not upset that they're on this bike at all, but I mean, dude, look at that view. Look at this. It's so nothing. I almost love it more. Alrighty, guys, let's talk about the engine real quick, because that's typically what we do here. Like I said, the only real modification to it is the exhaust and the tune, but the mid-range is fun. But nobody buys a Super Sport like this for the mid-range. That peak power, that 8,000 and up, when the bike is absolutely screaming at you, is when life just becomes euphoric and fun and everything is enjoyable. I love the sound of a inline 4 just screaming. I think a lot of us do. It's such a good time. It's such a fun way to ride, to have that power all like pent up in the top of a rev range. It's super neat. Now, as far as the shifting and the gears, we have not changed the gearing at all. We actually put the stock sprocket sizes back on the bike, so I've had no problems today riding the bike around in city settings. I do feel like you just don't get to shift a lot. You know, like I'm in third gear right now, which is way higher of a gear than I really need to be in. But that's the only kind of issue. And I mean, you can shift as much as you want, but there's never a situation where you like need to shift. So the gearing's a little tall, but it's, you know, this bike is made for a racetrack. That's what it's here for. It's not made for these like peasant roads. Moving along, we can talk about that quickshifter real quick. Absolute clutch mod, no pun intended there. I love the quickshifter here. You press it, it goes into the gear exactly. stop. You have to stop. You have to stop. You have to stop. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Okay, now that I've controlled myself. I really like the quick shifter. It fits the bike. A bike like this that doesn't have a quick shifter, you feel something missing, dude. when we installed the quick shifter, that first ride I took of it, I was like, okay, this should have been here the whole time. I don't know why it wasn't. I love that, especially on a track. Having a quick shifter just makes your life so much easier. And finally, let's touch on the brakes. I mean, we talked about them earlier. These Brimbos have so much feeling. They have so much stopping power, but it's not about stopping power. If stopping power is really chaotic, then like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? I can't ride smooth with that. These brakes are smooth and progress into the power. They don't just punch you in the face right off the get-go. And feeling is everything, man. All right, guys, let's talk about the controls up here and the dash. So we didn't do a ton of things with the controls, but we did a couple very important ones. So grips-wise, we do have these mutation grips. Very happy with those. They are extraordinarily grippy. Love that we got these. The stock Yamaha grips are normally not too bad, but when you go to an aftermarket set of grips, it's next level stuff. Controls-wise, we haven't touched them at all as far as the clusters, and they work absolutely like they did brand new. Still got a good click. This bike is, what, 5 years old and got 22,000 miles. It has seen some life, and those buttons work fantastic. The important things that we did change were the levers. Up here, like I said earlier, we've got the Brembo Master Cylinder. Love this guy. The amount of feel you get, the amount of grip I get on the glove. They're very adjustable. Both levers are adjustable, and I'm not going to hit these cars that are stopped in the middle of the road. Over here we have this Rizoma lever. This guy is fantastic. It's got like a little rubberized feeling on the side. It's breakaway, and it has adjustment. The important thing is it goes to a brand new clutch that works fantastic, and that's really nice. But yeah, the Brembo is adjustable. It goes up if you want to like bend it and stuff like that. Highly recommend that lever, even though it is a little bit expensive. And then obviously we've got the Rizoma brake reservoir as far as the front and the rear. Actually, I love those Rizoma brake reservoirs. They look cool. I can see my brake fluid levels, which is awesome. And we also have this Bonamici Racing top triple clamp, which looks very racy, looks very fun, very here for it. A lot of my friends that have seen this bike comment that they really like that top triple, which I totally agree. It looks absolutely sick. And if my quad lock and phone weren't here, you could see the Gillies top yoke. It also looks really cool, but with a quad lock installed, you can't really see it. And for the quad lock mount, we just have the regular fork stem mount. Pretty simple stuff there. As far as the cluster up front, you know, this is a part of a dying breed of motorcycle. We've got the physical tack that goes up. The R6 should not be any other way. The R6 needs to have that physical tack where you see that needle just climb and rotate. It's part of the experience. This is one of the few motorcycles that I don't even want a digital dash. I want to see that that needle just, you know what I mean, just kind of like pop up. I love that. All right, guys, now I know y'all been looking at the camera car footage that we have been showing you, but I'm gonna pull off up here and we're gonna do a little walk around of this bike. It is too freaking gorgeous to not. And also, thank you guys so much for supporting the sponsors of the First Ride Show. If you guys didn't support the sponsors, we would not be able to afford that camera car footage. So, massive appreciation on that. Let's get this thing pulled off and do a look around. Alrighty, guys, walk around for the R6. Alrighty, guys, our Season 6 R6. Here we are. I love the way this bike turned out, guys. It is my absolute favorite. You guys know I got a soft spot in my heart for the R6, and this just pushes it to another level. We have seen some comments of people wanting this silver, so I totally get that. Some R1Ms have that silver. What I was wanting was this black line to go all the way through the bike. I think we definitely achieved that. And looks-wise, I think this is so good. The R6 deserves to have Brembos. I will champion that. I think that's how it needs to go. I think this thing ended up great, guys. I love the swing arm. I love the gas tank. And I will note, whoever wins this, I do have these tank grips. I do have a pair that go right here. I didn't want to install those, though, because then you wouldn't get to see the gas tank. So the winner will, I mean, obviously the winner's going to get the motorcycle. The winner will also get a set of Dunlop Q5s, a brand new set. And they're going to have this stuff as well. But yeah, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think about how the bike ended up. But overall, I love it. If I had a few thousand more dollars, I probably would have gone with a set of Olin suspension. I would have gone with carbon wheels, and I would have gotten actual carbon fairings instead of the monster fairings. But if you're on a budget, I think these monster fairings look absolutely fantastic. So super happy with them. You guys can see on the inside there, those new acro headers, they're a peach. But anyways, guys, what I'm going to do is take my phone off my quad lock real quick, and I am going to record some content for our fans over on TikTok and Instagram. If you guys aren't followers, we're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok, and we are at Pics on Instagram. I'm going to go make some videos for them, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, that's it for vertical stuff. I'm going to get my phone back on the quad lock, and then we will head out of here, and we will decide purchase or pass? I don't know. But first, we got to do a steering stem lock test. All right, she's not made for this, but let's see how bad it is. That's so terrible. Whatever. It's a super sport. It's not supposed to be have a really good turning radius. Alright, guys, the question is, would I purchase this motorcycle or pass on it? So guys, when it comes to purchasing or passing on an R6M, you gotta go purchase. You know why? Because it's technically only $5 and you win the thing. No, for real though, I do love this bike, and I love it for the reason of, if I were in a position to be able to afford, sorry, this is getting on my nerves. If I was in a position to be able to afford a bike and just have it as a track bike, this bike is everything that I would want in a track bike. It looks really cool. It sounds really good. It's the body position that is going to be fantastic on the track. Everything here is built around a track experience. Honestly, the R6 is just not a great bike to ride on the road. The body position's all leaned over. You're not in a position of easily flicking it around at slow speeds. It's just not what you want on the street. But I love it for a track, and you know, here at the end of the year, I feel like we did the reveal of this on the track, and then I got to go to the Kyalami racetrack in South Africa recently with Bridgestone. Getting more track experience has just got me really excited to want to do track days more. So because of that, this bike is right up my alley, and I'm loving every second of it. On top of that, a lot of you guys that have been fans for a while know that I've got a long history with the R6. I love this platform. I can't really ride them that often because I have a really bad back and it hurts my back to ride these. A lot of you guys that have ridden R6s before, or super sports in general, know that they're just bad on the back, man. So if you have a back that allows you to ride super sports and you enjoy them, and do it and enjoy them while you can, because eventually you won't be able to. And guys, that's really all I've got for the R6 here. Huge shout out to all of our members over at WBRgarage.com. If it wasn't for you guys supporting the show, we would not be able to build fantastic bikes like this and then give them away to you guys that help support the show. If you guys want to join us, we are over at WBRgarage.com. That's our membership site. That's where you guys can win the motorcycles that we give away. Huge shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Being able to give away bikes for the last 5 or 6 years has just been really neat, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. If you guys want to see what the first ride was like of this bike before we worked on it, I'll put that link here at the end of the video. You guys in the OC and the outro crew, thank you for getting to the end of the video. Let me know, outro crew, was it better before or after? If you guys say before, I'm gonna kick your ass. Alright guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you like motorcycle content. You guys ride safe out there. I'll see you on the next one. Later.